Good morning, everybody. So, as I mentioned, we are starting the JOL Ornament preparation. This has 21 chapters to study. Today we're here, the chapter 15, the profession of perseverance. So we went through the reflection on the faults and virtues, definition, and also on the part of the classification. So in the classifications, there are three different, not the classification. First with the definition. Within the definition is the second one. Definition of the perseverance is the feeling of joy in virtues, so you feel joy on the base on reason, understanding. So this is something that is useful. This is something that makes sense. If I go through this, there's a way to how to free from suffering, how to achieve peace and happiness. When you have that kind of sense, awareness, understanding, then when you follow the path, even though sometimes difficult, you feel joy, you feel happy. So following the path joyfully, happily is called the perseverance. So in this perseverance is the remedy for the laziness. So there, as you see, there's three different types of laziness. The laziness of listlessness, attachment to the comfort, being easy. And then the laziness of disregard and the gross laziness. So today we're here, disregard the laziness. Page 215. The second said, the laziness of disregard. What this means is means a feeling of discouragement in the mind that think a weak person like me, even if I make effort, how could I ever achieve enlightenment? The enlightenment means full perfection, perfect all our shortcomings, especially all the mental afflictions. Then looking to oneself, I have such a gross mental afflictions, and I'm not good enough to make effort with this. So, feeling of kind of, low, doesn't have enough ability, courage. So it's a disregard to yourself. So if you have that said, you should avoid this disregard for yourself. How? By avoiding discouragement. Now, how should one avoid discouragement? It is said now here. This is a Shantideva's writing, the Bodhicharya Avatara. If they develop the strength of their exertion. If anybody develops mental strength, courage, and go forward, put the exertion, then say, even those who are flies, fly bugs, mosquitoes, bees, insects, will win the unsurpassable awakening. Those that which are nothing but small insects, who have no any idea what's right and wrong, virtue and non-virtue, but even they make effort. Eventually, they will achieve the final goal. Why? Because they have Buddha nature. The seed of enlightenment. It may be a very long way, but still they can achieve that goal. So, which is so hard to find. First, see how they can be born in the human realm who has precious human life. Look at that. So difficult. Still they can. Now here says, so if I do not forsake the Bodhisattva's way of life, why should someone like myself, who has the precious human life, who made the Dharma teachings, who has been born in the human race, the human family, in the human life, and not attain awakening, the enlightenment, since I am able to recognize what is beneficial and what is of harm, means what's virtue, what's non-virtue. I can recognize this is virtue to be adopted, this is non-virtue to be abandoned. So if I make effort, if I keep the bodhicitta in my heart, why not? I will achieve enlightenment. Even I'm weak, not so smart. See, so develop courage yourself. See, from this point of view, you look at, Buddhist is not something, a pessimistic feeling, or a weak, rather courage. Courage built on the base of reason, not out of arrogance. That's what is important to see. So when you suffer, so this suffering has a limit. I can be free from this kind of suffering. If you have some kind of happiness, joy in the life, instead of attach to that, I have to achieve the happiness of the Buddhahood, not this one. So instead of being stuck there, go forward farther to the final destination. So this how to look at what means laziness of disregard. Looking down on yourself and how to overcome that. Then gross laziness. Third, gross laziness means being attached to non-virtues like destroying enemies. We make so much effort, work so hard, day and night, how to get rid of enemies. That's a wrong type of effort, which doesn't bring real peace and happiness. Accumulating wealth from wrong side, they say, cheating people, deceiving people, like those things, and so forth. these are the direct cause of suffering because you involve all your mental afflictive emotions, anger, hatred, attachment, so forth. And therefore should be avoided. Because of the cause of suffering, it should be avoided. Now comes third classification, the division. How many are there? So perseverance has three classifications: perseverance of armor, perseverance of application, and insatiable perseverance. The first is the excellent motivation, wearing armor to study, practice Dharma. It's an excellent motivation. The second one is excellent applied effort, means excellent action. Saying. And the third one is the perfection of those two, those above two, to perfect them. For then the fourth characteristic of each classification. First, perseverance of armor. What that means, no? From now, as soon as you start this kind of Dharma study practice and cultivate bodhicitta, from that time, from now until all sentient beings are established in the unsurpassable enlightenment, I will not give up the perseverance of virtue. Means developing bodhicitta. Develop bodhicitta by avoiding all the cause of suffering, physically, mentally, and developing all the good qualities like this perfection of the 6 paramitas. So such armor should be worn. We should have that. The Bodhisattva's basket says, Shariputra, one should wear inconceivable armors. No, Buddha said that. One should not relax his perseverance for enlightenment until the end of samsara. So until we free from samsara, we should not relax. No. For example, if the revelries military army coming, in a few kilometers, and here you have such a beautiful place, hotel, just to relax, so wonderful. You can't attach to that, isn't it? You have to prepare for any, way how to, free from the enemies who are coming to attack you. So like that, in the samsara, there's some happiness, enjoyments. All are subject to change. We have to go forward to enlightenment. This is what it's saying here. The explanation of the establishment of Armor Sutras says, Bodhisattva should wear armor in order to gather sentient beings to put together. Because sentient beings are limitless, one should wear limitless armors. So this is exactly like the military, Practice of bodhicitta is like a real army. Here we are army to fight the enemy of the bodhicitta, means all the afflictive emotions, which are the root cause of suffering for oneself and all other sentient beings. All the mental delusions, not outside enemies, those are sentient beings. Those are our parents. But inner mental afflictive emotions. So we should always vigilant, prepared. Not to lose from this battle. The Akshyamati's requested sutra says, do not wear armor by counting. said, how? This many kalpas I will wear armor, and this many kalpas I will not. Rather, one should wear infinite armor. So, the enlightenment is infinite. Sentient beings are infinite. So therefore, we have to wear the infinite armor. Bodhicitta, which means bodhicitta, reach to all sentient beings, and that mind to achieve perfect state. That's what's called wearing armor. So if you see the reason, this is such a great now to make our mind really joyful, happy. I could see this now, Before, I have not been. I'm just trapped in a very narrow spot. Now all these boundaries are dismantled. No? Such a joyful method. That's called joyous effort, you see. Bodhisattva Bhumi says, I will be happy even if I have to stay in hell for thousands of kalpas, you see, in order to liberate the sentient beings of one sentient being. Thousands of kalpas in order to liberate the sentient beings of one sentient being. If I could liberate one sentient being from the hell to the enlightenment, I'll be so happy to stay in the hell realm. So it's courage, it's called fearlessness. So to say nothing of a short period of time and a small amount of suffering, see. So we disregard small amount of suffering. So these are just nothing. This is called the perseverance of the armor of the Bodhisattva. See? That's what's called Bodhisattva. We may not have it, but this is now our goal. So, to bring in our heart. As long as we have the breath, as long as we have the time, this is our goal, to make the perseverance. Go forward. No? Okay, so that's called the perseverance of armor. The second, perseverance of application. Applied perseverance is of three types. Diligent perseverance, diligent effort to avoid afflicting emotions. First, this one. Diligent effort to accomplish virtue, and diligent effort to benefit sentient beings. This all others goes, in the generosity, and especially in the moral ethics. So there's a moral ethics to avoid all the non-virtue, moral ethics to accumulate all the qualities of the Dharma teachings, moral ethics benefiting sentient beings. So it's here now too. First, we have to look inside what kind of shortcoming I have. Look at the mind. So we all just know, while I'm talking, just look at the mind, meditate, relax, See, first, diligent, make effort to avoid afflicting emotions. Means, like, as you know, ignorance, attachment. It's called pernicious attachment, and anger, hatred, resentment, pride, jealousy, reckless greed, those things. The afflicting emotions of desire, attachment here, desire, attachment. Now, there are two types of desire. One positive. I desire all sentient beings to free from suffering. I desire to achieve complete enlightenment. That kind of desire we need. is positive. A desire to destroy others, a desire to destroy oneself. Those are things that we have to avoid. So that's what is that, desire. So attachment, all the rest of the afflictive emotions, and so forth. And all these actions, so action based on this, they influence, see, are the root of all suffering in the world. Look at the suffering. How sensation-based is suffering. Look at first, just what the cause of the suffering. Just look, what the cause of the suffering in the human realm. Because of these mental all afflictions. And they don't know. They have no wisdom. And no one tells them. So look at that. So that's why we appreciate ourselves. Therefore, for a long time, even it may take a long time, doesn't matter. So purify them, see, individually and make effort. So individually means look at what kind of stronger afflicting emotions I have. If I have anger, I have to purify that. If I have strong attachment, desire, I have to purify this. Or greed, so forth. So individually look at and make effort for them not to arise. Engaging in the conduct of Bodhisattvas, Shantideva says, if I find myself amidst crowd afflicting emotions, or afflicting emotional conception, I shall endure them in 1,000 ways, means I will get rid of them with many different methods. Here endure means I'm not become a slave of them. Instead, I will purify them by enduring hardship. No. I will not feed these afflictive emotions, but I will purify them. That's what it's saying here. 1,000 ways, like a lion among foxes, and so forth. See, when the lion is there, foxes and all other animals around the lion, because the lion is the king of the beast, so no one can beat lion. Likewise, say, I'm like a lion. All these beasts, others afflictive emotions, they can never attack me. Instead, I subdue them, overcome them. No? See, I will not be affected by these host of afflicting emotions. That's the Dharma practice, you see. That's the Buddhism. What do you call religion? What do you call philosophy? What do you call science of mind? What do you call? This is the Buddhism now. When you pray, when you do prostration, when you meditate, when you chant mantra, this is the focus where to pay attention. See? Makes sense, isn't it? Look at this, you see. In that there's no negotiation as a mission. No. Sometimes we try to negotiate. What about if I do this much? When you come to this point, it's universal, you see. It's not a Buddhism. It's the law of the universe. Nature of the samsara. This makes you very comfortable in the first place. Then you will appreciate, I'm so glad I come to this path. I know it. There's nothing hidden, nothing secret. I don't have to believe something. but I have to make effort. This is what about. Doesn't matter what you believe. Doesn't matter. The matter is this one. See, this is such a precious line. You see, I will not be affected by this host of afflicting emotions. So, what is an example of mindfulness? Now, can you give us some kind of example? How to be mindful? How to be vigilant? No? It is said in the Bodhisattva Avatara, those who practice should be as attentive as a frightened man carrying a jar full of mustard oil, who is being threatened by someone with a sword, that he will be killed if he spills just one drop. You know the story? This is at the time of Buddha. In a borderland, there's a king. Then yes, king was a rich merchant or something, and he married to a Buddhist wife, and he invited all his teachers for that ceremony. And she said, I also want to invite my, the teacher that I study, take refuge. He said, go ahead. So then she asked Buddha, can you send me a monk who is appropriate to participate in this ceremony? So they go together. So all the Buddhist monks, they sit one side and all others sit one side. And then made a very elaborated ceremony. And then on the day end, the king went to all these great, the priests, masters, asked, have you enjoyed today's the elaborated the celebration? Everyone said, yes, we enjoyed, except that the Buddhist monk said, I could not enjoy, or I didn't see, And the king was so kind of unhappy. How you could say this? I made so much effort, work hard to make you happy, And the monk said, yes, I understand your point. Tomorrow I will ask you to perform kind of same celebration. And to that, from your prison, bring a man who is to be executed, to be killed, Give him a bowl filled with the mustard oil here. And in the front, a prison guard, and the back, a prison guard. Both hands hold the sword. And you go around this hall, the place, And if he drops, drops one, drops out one, drop, that moment he will be killed. If he didn't spilled any drop, he will be freed. Just tell him that. And then in the middle, you play all the things that you did yesterday or today, So then the king said, okay, I will do that. So then next day, performed all. And then the man brought from the jail and told exactly what the master said. And then the man walked, ball in his hand, with full attention. Now it's a matter of life and death, So that when he finished all round, he didn't spill the drop. And the king asked, during your walk, I performed all the ceremony. Did you enjoy it? And the man said, I haven't heard of a sound because all my attention was here. So the teacher said, this is my point now. In the samsara, there's nothing to enjoy. My mind is full attention to achieve enlightenment. This was called mindfulness, you see. Make sense? Absolutely. See, look at this, you see. Okay, now second, so that's how to see. This way, how to purify our mental afflictive emotions. Anyhow, see, that's the point. Purify. What we do usually, our mind is so unruly, and we go around and digging all the garbage, and at the end of the day, then you suffer helplessly. All the collection of those garbage within you. No matter what clothes you wear, no matter seed you wear, no matter food what you eat, no matter how title you have, see, those doesn't do any good. You see, those things, they don't do anything. That's the Dharma practice. So this way, purify. That's how you should look at the Milarepa's life story. He was exactly doing these things. Second, diligent effort to accomplish virtues. You should make effort to perfect the 6 parameters, without regard for even your body or life. So how should you make such an effort? You should make effort in the 5 perseverances. What are they? Persistently, 1. With a devotion, 2. Unshakably, 3. Without turning back, 4. And without arrogance, 5. With this 5 effort, So that you see, the first is making a constant effort. The Cloud of Noble Jewel Sutra says, a bodhisattva is one who perseveres in all different types of action without getting tired in body or mind. Constantly just making effort. Means without disregard, without feeling hopeless. Always there's a hope. In this case, there's always hope. For progress. This is called the persistent, perseverance of a bodhisattva. The second, making effort with the devotion, means perseverance quickly with joy and happiness, you see. I must do now. Joyfully, happily. See, as is said in the Bodhicitta Avatara. Thus, in order to complete this task, means to achieve complete enlightenment, to free from samsara, see, I shall venture into it. For example, just as elephant tormented by the midday sun, like a hot, completely hot, like 110, 120 degrees outside, so hot. And then the elephant is so vulnerable by the heat. And when the elephant sees like a mud water, just jump without any hesitation. because that's how he can escape from the heat. See, heats and plunks into a leg, just jump into the leg. Like that, we are in the midday sun of the samsara. So now to free from that, the cool breeze of the enlightenment there, how fast we should try to reach there. So joyfully, the elephant will jump there. It even maybe few kilometers to walk. Just walk so fast, joyfully, and get there. So go under hardship, joyfully, happily. So then that's called with the devotion, joyfully. The third is unshakable effort. Your mind should not be shaken by the harms of conceptual thoughts. It means our mental afflictive emotions. Sometimes very strong desire, attachment comes, makes you hopeless. Sometimes very strong anger comes. So then it makes you hopeless. At that moment, just be mindful. These can be purified. They are impermanent. Right now looks like impossible. I'm total under the control of them. But I never bow down to this. So see, afflicting emotions, those afflictions, and the hardship of suffering. Sometimes there's hardship. No proper food, no proper shelter. So I go through joyfully. So this is called unshakable. No other conditions shake you to practice Dharma. Because Dharma is the complete, perfect cause of peace and happiness. Hope. The fourth is making effort without turning back. You should not turn back by seeing others harm, wild behaviors, disturbances, degenerated views, and so forth. Sometimes you are disappointed. Some individual's action. Sometimes we derail from the path. So should never do that. Always go forwards. That's why look at the life stories of great masters who went through hardship. So when Lord Jigten Sungpan, when he was in the 7 years retreat, he had only one pattern, very poor, not rich, and just enough, just barely enough to have food. Then at the end of this 7 years retreat, he got sick. When he got so sick, there's even no one asks you, how are you? Would you like to have a medicine? Nothing. No. And he was alone there. And he felt so desperate. What should I do? But immediately, he reflected on the bodhicitta, what his teacher told. And then developing compassion to all sentient beings who are suffering. Such a strong compassion that his sickness just becomes so small, nothing. Because all the sentient being sufferings are unbearable and unending. And just tears came into his eyes, like stream of tears for hours. So he completely, dominated by that great compassion. His whole being turned into compassion. Because of that, all his sickness just disappeared, dissolved. So you never turn away, no matter what happened. Never turn from the Dharma. That's the worst obstacle we can face. There are a lot of other obstacles, but this is one of the worst obstacles. We never allow, God get the victory of this obstacle. See? And so forth. This is as mentioned in Aya Vajra Bhavansa Sutra. It looks like there's a story. The fifth is perseverance without arrogance. So by performing perseverance, you should not become heighty. Oh, I'm a very good meditator. I studied Buddhism for many years. I know well. I'm something which I established. So when these things happen, we always bring down yourself. Be humble. Be service to other sentient beings. Helpful. Be a source of courage, source of peace, instead of intimidating others. Third, diligent effort to benefit sentient beings. This means supporting those who do not have support and so forth through the 11 topics mentioned earlier in chapter 13. You see the 11. See? See. Support those who don't have support. Encourage those who don't have encouragement. Like those. These are the explanation of the applied perseverance, the action perseverance. The third, insatiable perseverance, means you should persevere without satisfaction until you achieve enlightenment, means until we become Buddha. Don't satisfy just small thing. It is said in the Shantideva's text, if I feel that I never have enough sensual objects, which are like honey smeared on a razor's edge. In the world, all this sensual, this sensory sensual objects, we never satisfy. So then he said, which is like, a honey, like honey smeared on a razor's edge. That's the samsaric pleasure. Then why should I ever feel that I have had enough merit which ripens in happiness and peace, means complete Buddhahood, enlightenment? How I can satisfy a small amount of Dharma practice in order to achieve enlightenment? So, that's how we have to practice Dharma teachings. Now, fifth, increase, this also mentioned above, perseverance will increase through premortal wisdom. When you practice perseverance, your meditation, the meditator, the object of meditation, the action of meditations, all just like illusion. That increases. Discriminating awareness means when you practice meditation, you practice before you do, cultivate bodhicitta. When you practice, do with bodhicitta. When you complete, with bodhicitta complete. Dedication, say now, as you know, dedication. All practices we do that bring together, dedicate to achieve complete enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. As explained before, chapter 12, at the generosity section. Then, 6, perfection. The perfection of perseverance is supported by pervading emptiness. See, the 4 seals, which are sealed by 4: wisdom, body, mind, the enlightenment, the result, Buddhahood, all as a nature of the emptiness. Within that, practice this perseverance, which perfects the, in other words, if you want to have a perfected perseverance, have to actualize Mahamudra. And then it's a compassion. When it's supported by compassion, that prevents one to fall into partial nirvana. When it's sealed by emptiness, it protects from being in the samsara. As explained before in chapter 12, now result, one should understand the result of the practice of perseverance in the ultimate and conventional state. And the ultimate state, what's the ultimate result of the perseverance? One attains unsurpassable enlightenment, Buddhahood. Buddhasattva Bhumi says, by fully perfecting the paramita, perfection of the perseverance, Bodhisattvas attain the unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment that are attaining complete enlightenment. Means now, see, in the past, all the Buddhas of the past, they attain Buddhahood by perfecting perseverance. And the Buddhas of the present, they're attaining Buddhahood by perfecting the perseverance. See, that's a saying, are attaining complete enlightenment. And the future Buddha will attain complete enlightenment. All the Buddhas of the future will also achieve complete enlightenment by perfecting the perseverance. The fruit of the conventional or relative state is that one will have all the supreme joys of existence, even while in samsara, because we are doing all the good things, avoiding all the non-virtues, so we'll enjoy on the path towards enlightenment. The Ornament of Mahayana Sutra says, through perseverance, one achieves all his wishes while in the samsara. So this is the chapter. This is the 15th chapter, dealing with the perfection of perseverance from the JOL Ornament of Liberation, the wish-fulfilling gem of noble teachings.